This place is called Marietta, and I can hear the train coming through. This is a little garden here. I'm not sure who's dedicated to it. But this is Marietta in the backdrop. Yeah, this place is called Marietta. It's dedicated to who I don't know. But the place is called Marietta here in Marietta, Georgia. So I'm gonna go out and take a candid shot of this place and see what I can come up with here in Marietta. This is Marietta, Georgia. I'm gonna see who's dedicated to, maybe he's dedicated to this lady, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out and then come back before someone actually say I ain't supposed to be parking in the parking lot. So anyway, Forever Remember, dedicated July 2nd, 2010. Forever remember and honor, recognize a family who loved one give every day for the protection, service, support, and defense of our freedom at home or abroad. The Kenneth Club of Marietta citizen and the Cobb County community appreciate the sacrifice of a family at home. The missed holiday of even the ultimate sacrifice of first responders and military neighbors will always be remembered. This community is proud to dedicate Forever Remember to the family of those who serve in the military and as a first responder. So that's what this place is about. It's sort of like their miniature, veteran park here. So it's gonna behoove me if I take a picture here in this particular site here. Yeah, this place is called Harem. Beautiful historical monument dedicated to the veterans of Georgia. This is Harem. Yeah, this Harem, a little pond here, a little waterway. Nothing to, just kind of like a runoff. And to place this monument at the crest of this little pond here in Harem, Georgia. It's called a Veteran Memorial. Take my Yeah, Harem again, on the brinks here. This beautiful sight. Taking this video and interpreting what I saw here. There's no wind today, but in spite of it, this composition should come out. They captured the dedicated veterans dedicated site here in Georgia. This happened to be a new addition to the site they have here. And this one is called Harem, historical documentation of veterans who served. I'm gonna go down here closer and see if I can come up with some kind of idea why they dedicate this place. And this place is dedicated in honor of all the veterans of the Harem, Georgia, and Paulding County who served in the armed service of the country. It's World War One, World War Two, and Vietnam War. I didn't know the war. World War One was from 1914 to 1918. And then World War Two was from 1941 to 1945. But the longest war was the Vietnam War was 1955, just came into the world, to 1975, and just joined in that. And kind of something else, 1955, 74 I joined. And the Korean War was a short war, which was from 1950. I just came into the world to 1953, thought the war was over. And then they had the Pearl Harbor, which was 12/7/1941. The date will live in. And then American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. So those are the depiction of the war that actually transpired here. And he had another one, War Again. Desert Shield, Desert Storm, 1990 to 1991. And we had the longest one called, one of the other one called, from 9/11 to 2001, No Day Shall Erase You from the Memory of Time. And then war in Afghanistan, that lasts a long time, from 2001 to 2021. And then Iraq War from 2003 to 2011. So you see, we was fighting these war from the inception of the country in the Revolutionary War, which actually they said from 1775 to 1783. So the American democracy, the American was fighting wars from the inception of time, and now they're still fighting wars and skirmish around the world. So as you can see, war, it's in the blood, and war seems to be never over. The participant in this war seem to be we call, if I will put it this way, it's one of the largest entitlement program in American budget. It's called the defense budget, and you always have money for war, but you don't always have money for food. So, and it's kind of one of the, I would say, that the largest social program there is in American system, because the defense budget. So you see why, because there's always war. War always going on. Wherever you go, there's war. War in the East, war in the West. From the inception of the world, Abel and Cain, there's always been war. War. When it's going to end, I don't know. It's going to end when God himself come back and take back what is his. And then that's going to be the end of war. Then we have peace on earth and goodwill to man in this world he created. So this is war being depicted here in Harem. Like I said, my task today is to check out all those monuments that's dedicated to the veteran of the United States of America. I don't know if this came out, but I'm gonna do it over again. But anyway, this is from the southern part of the park itself, and the sun is beaming down from the, I would say from the south. So I must be facing south because that sun is beaming in my face. So I would say southeast or southwest because it's late during the day. So this is Harem Seventh-day Church right there in the blink. That's their church right there. It's a nice little church. I've been in there a couple times. It's always it's so friendly, and I'm parking in the parking lot today. But that's the Harem Seventh Adventist Church right there in Harem, Georgia. It's called Harem Main Street. I didn't know they had a main street, but this is their main street here. Small little enclave. It's called Harem Main Street. Here in Harem, Georgia. Harem Main Street. Aristocrat House, the seat of government is down there in Harem Main Street. Harem Veteran site from a distance. Yeah, to call this place here. Benny Strickland Park. It said the city of Harem, established in 1891. History, heritage, hope. January 5th. It's 66 degrees today. But this place is called Benny Strickland Park here. They have a nice, we call it again, nice amphitheater looking over a little lake here, pond. But anyway, I'm here today in Harem, Georgia, looking over this particular site. Yeah, this is a beautiful landscape here. I'm trying to capture the essence of walking down this sidewalk. See if I'm going to be tracked or what. Anyway, I'm walking down this sidewalk here on this landscape here in Still Veteran Memorial Park. Quite a different place to be. And I'm here today. Yeah, I'm in front. I'm standing in the area here. We call this place here Veteran Memorial Drive. This area here was actually named for the U.S. Virgin Island veterans who actually served in the Marine, served in the Navy, served in the Air Force, served in the Coast Guard, served in the Army, all branches of the United States military. So they dedicated this plaque here, this pyramid here, to the veterans, and they placed it right on the brinks of what we call Veteran Memorial Drive. This highway itself here goes from here all the way down to Frenchtown, and it's symbolic of what the Virgin Island culture was about. The Virgin Island has beautiful entire culture. And we're talking about the Renaissance. The Renaissance was, New York had its Renaissance. The Renaissance in New York was in Harlem. The Renaissance in Chicago was actually we call South Side and West Side. The Renaissance in DC was Q Street, 14th and 13th Street. But the places that we call the Renaissance in St. Thomas was actually Savant. Savant was a Renaissance where most people had to shop, to store, and it was a middle class of what we call emancipation, Afrocentric Virgin Islanders who choose Savant to be part of their home base. So if you ever get an opportunity to go to Savant, go to Savant. So, but what's unique about it, those places encompass places like Up Street, Down Street, Round the Field, Contan, Mahogany Estate, and later on they incorporated places like Garden Street and Up the Hill. So these places actually are symbolic of what actually transpired in the Virgin Islands during the heyday of St. Thomas emerging as a popular place. It started from the 60s all the way up until the 80s. That's what I consider the Renaissance for emerging civilization, which was Afrocentric. People were coming in and making a particular area their places of survival. Stores, shopping, their own, everything was what they had in place. So I'm standing here at the brink of our dedication as a veteran and I shift my camera to the legislature building over there, and then later on I go over to the Emancipation Garden where it all started. This is where it all started right here. It's called the legislature building in a crest right there. Yeah, this is where it all started after emancipation of the Danish and transformation of the island from the Danish to the America in 1917. They established their own headquarters, their own Capitol building right there, Virgin Island. So this is symbolic of where it all emerged, come together. But it also started in Emancipation Garden over there that I'm going to do a piece later on to show you where these Afrocentric people under the Danish rule actually received their freedom. So I'm going to go over there right now and do that piece. Yeah, this is where it all started here, with the emancipation of the Afrocentric under the Danish rule. The bell down in the corner was actually the symbol that was rang, allowing the Afrocentric under Danish rule of emancipation. The conch shell here in the midst right here is a symbolic of resistance, the conch shell and the machete that allowed the Afrocentric to expedite their emancipation because they had clashes with the occupiers. So this is where it all started right here in some place called Emancipation Garden on St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Island. But one of the major uprisings was in a place called St. Croix, where a young lady named Queen Mary and a band of warriors actually helped to liberate most of the Afrocentric who was in the island, and then St. John, and then Bodo and St. Thomas was another part of it. But this is where it all started right here when it comes to emancipation. This conch shell here and this machete here is symbolic of the message that went out through conch shell, because there was no telegram, but they had a conch shell and they had a machete or the cane we call the cane weapon. So they used that actually to establish the freedom, expedite the freedom. So this thing here represents freedom for the Afrocentric people underneath of what we call the Danish rule. So again, this symbol is what represents here in the Emancipation Garden. On my far left over there will be the bell that actually is symbolic of the first landing of the settlers, which was the English that came here. And then this bell here was erected to let the Afrocentric know that there was actually what we call emancipated. This bell here is symbolic for most Afrocentric Virgin Islanders. This is where they actually started, and they got the freedom by the ringing of this bell after there was emancipation, with a revolution that was fought with a machete and a conch shell depicted in the statue back there. But this bell here was rang by the Danish occupiers, letting the enslaved Virgin Islanders know they was free. But something strange about it in this depiction here, they said the landing of the Virginia settlers. Virginia settlers, I always thought was in Virginia, but it said here in the Virgin Island, they landed on the 4th of April, 1607 for a stay of 3 days. So the English actually came here, a company of 144 Englishmen bound for Virginia on the 13th of May, 1607. That same group found at Jamestown, Virginia, the first permanent settlement beyond the British Isle. From that colony grew the overseas expansion of the English-speaking people, the Commonwealth of Virginia, the United States of America, and the British Commonwealth, the nation and a realm overseas. So this symbol here not only represents emancipation of the enslaved Afrocentric people in the Virgin Islands, but also marking a point where the first English settlers came here on this tiny island called U.S. Virgin Island. So it's always nice to know that you can have the history of where you stand and what it represents as a people here in these America. Today is a booming society. It's a very much advanced tourism port. St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix in the British Virgin Islands. But all of this here was actually forest. Today is symbolized as a tourist trap. And that's what makes it unique, because it's a tourist trap today. So we are actually being part of this whole mechanism called St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Island. Are you a St. Thomas veteran? Huh? Are you a Virgin Island veteran?
Of course.
You are?
No.
Oh, because I'm doing a story of St. Thomas veterans.
Oh, okay.
So you're not one?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. It would have been nice, because we have when Saddam went into Kuwait, and then Bush, the father, stopped him, right? And later on, Bush, the son, who became president, overthrew him. Okay. So the guy who you went to school with, he was in that first Gulf War, correct? And he went to school with you, and he was in what branch?
The Army.
He was in the Army. Green Beret?
I forget. But he tell me he's a fixed Army thing.
Okay. So he made it a career? Like saying for 20 years?
Or something. I know how long it lasts. When he come out, he tell me he killed so much money. When he tell me he tell me I'm killing a lot of money.
Yeah, in the Army. I see. I was in Navy, right? But in the Navy, I didn't have the hand-to-hand combat because I'm on a ship. I'm an engineer, so I prepare the propulsion, the engine, and manage the electrical part of it, right? Like Whopper. But my job wasn't involved in any literal battle. See? But I still was in the military because every one of them play a role, right? The first person to take the hill is most of the time is the Marine. right? And then the Army comes in later, right? And after victory, then the Air Force come in and they start building stuff.
Okay.
But the Navy bombard the shoreline first, and then they send the Marine in. And after the Marine take control of the land, then the Army come in and keep and control it, and then the Air Force start building structures. That's how it's set up. See? So each one of them play a role. The people who do the grunt of the fighting is the Army and the Marine. And I don't want to go in none of them.
Yeah.
You understand? So I give most of the guys, I give those guys credit that did it, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't my cup of tea. I just want to see the world. You know what I'm saying? I just want to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was the slave was able to win the freedom?
Slaves.
Yeah, in St. Thomas.
I got a resort like 3 again. I know in St. Croix go between Bodo, and General Bodo. It's what it is help. The teacher in school, but I forget how it went on.
Okay, well, the conch shell and the cane machete. All the time, brothers was armed, but they didn't realize it. They was actually using an arm to do what? Cut sugar cane. But it was a weapon.
Yeah.
So eventually they turn the weapon, they turn it into a weapon to liberate themselves. And they use the conch shell as a communication to send a verbal message to the rest of the people in a faraway area. Then they had telegram, so they used a conch shell.
They used to use the drums and so certain slaves had know how to use the drums from before they bring them over in Africa.
Of course, right.
They hand it down to their children secretly.
Right.
So when certain slave rebellions, they were planning slave rebellions, there would be a drum and they would communicate to other slaves and other plantations and things to
correct. Right.
They would teach their children that secretly, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, because all of them had a different language. See? That's what it was intentionally done that way, right?
Yeah, but
so if you can't,
used to communicate them into one language.
Right, and the conch shell also did it.
Okay.
The conch shell unite them.
Yeah.
So they had an uprising in Bordeaux, correct? St. Thomas, right? His name was General Bordeaux.
In St. Croix. With Queen Mary too, but
Queen Mary is the one who actually burned down the plantation.
Yeah, but they end up hanging a witch, I think.
No, they end up burning the woman at the stake.
Yeah, that's what I tell you, hang on, burning at the stake and call her a witch.
Yeah, call her a witch for liberating her people. Yeah, but they always do that, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
When you fight for your freedom, they call you gorilla. They call you.
But Virginia thing, they used to find this one a woman and man calling them witch and sorcerer and all kinds of stuff because what they are not from Africa.
Yeah.
So one day, like the drums and all them things in Haiti, they use the drum as voodoo.
Right.
Drum.
Religion.
Yeah, and they say, a brother telling me before, Tucson went to any battle.
Yeah.
He used to go every day to wake up and go to the high priest.
Yeah.
And ask him if today I go there to fight. And his high priest was telling me if today I go there or not to fight.
Right. So he was a commander to Saint Lavature in Haiti, and he whipped the French twice, not once but twice. You know that, right?
Well, a trick they pull on him.
Yeah.
Then to go with something and they jail him or something like that.
Yeah, at the end, they jailed him and took him to some part of southern France, and that's where he died in exile. Because he was so powerful.
Yeah, I see him, the thing about him. He was even more powerful than Napoleon when Napoleon finally.
Oh, he beat Napoleon.
Yeah.
He whipped Napoleon.
A brother tell me a brother from here was going to a march in Haiti at the time when they get an annual march.
Yeah.
He tell me that They had just invented a machine gun and they were killing black man by thousands a day, right? And when they heard about the revolution in Haiti, Napoleon decided to go on way to win back the same, but they might not.
He was surprised.
Yeah.
He was surprised because
Yeah.
he thought they had an inferior army.
Yeah, because they say, when it happened, they say, a little island like that, how they could get over such a, you know what I mean? Man like Napoleon, you know?
Yeah.
They were afraid, but I mean, Toussaint was like that comes from natural instincts to be a guerrilla warfare soldier, you know?
Right.
And he teach a lot of his other slaves or rebel with him, how to.
Yeah, he fought a guerrilla war.
Yeah.
That's what Toussaint fought. He didn't fight that war that Napoleon where you line up and then you charge and then you pump your gun. He fought a guerrilla war, and a guerrilla war hit and run. That's how Vietnam beat the United States, right? They fought a guerrilla war. See, that's how people in North Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, that's how they whipped the United States. We had all the power, right? But they fought a guerrilla war. They had tunnel underneath the ground. We think we was bombing, we think we had them in submission. But if you read the story, they make you, the Vietnamese made America think they was winning. And when they convinced they was winning, then they kind of like let loose on them. And then they marched into Saigon and took Saigon, and they had to run. You understand? They had to run out of there. And that's how the war ended. See? That's how that ended. But
I didn't know the fullness, I didn't know about the underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had underground tunnels. And the guy, no matter what bomb they used, they were so deep underneath the ground, they couldn't touch them. And they didn't know that was there.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah, that's how it was. That's how they beat them.
About Hiroshima.
Hiroshima is Japan.
Oh, they dropped them the atomic bomb.
And Japan, the United States dropped that on Japan.
Okay, but Vietnam, what was in Vietnam? What they call a place? The Vietnam. Wow.
Yeah, this place is called the Veteran Memorial Site here. It's called the Veteran Memorial Site. I think this place is dedicated to the veterans of Powder Spring, Georgia, and all those who participated in the war throughout the world. It's called Veteran Memorial Site here in Powder Spring, Georgia. And I'm gonna walk up to the monument here and see if I can come up with any different insignia of what Powder Spring is about. It's said here on this marquee, dedicated as a whole wall of honor to all veterans who have served with their country, and also dedicated to a POW and MIA. You are not forgotten. So that's what this site here represents, and all the people who donated, the Bill and Kate Buckleman and family, and Bill and Judy Cox family, and Jim and Barbara Cricket family. They're all dedicated to this particular site called Powder Spring Veteran Memorial Site. So I'm happy to be here today, capturing an essence and trying to find out who dedicated this particular site. I think it's must have been some special person decided that they want to dedicate this site here to all the veterans of the United States of America. And I'm gonna walk down a little bit there and see if I can see what the site here represents. This site here said, and I'm standing at a podium here, it said, Powder Spring American Legion Post 297 Incorporated Veterans Memorial Monument Committee So it was a committee that decided to donate or construct this site here on these grounds here in Powder Spring to remember the veterans. Some of the people was officers, commanders, and different people like that. But anyway, this is the site I'm standing on, this podium here that represent all those people who actually serve and all those people who actually want to be part of this community and who give the time and their dedication and service to this community by serving in the military. It has up there the Navy, the Marine, the Army, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, and then in the middle is the American flag, and then the Georgia flag is parallel to it. So those are the flags that are being represented in this particular area called Veteran Memorial Site here in Powder Spring, Georgia. Just a glimpse of the flags and U.S. Powder Spring Veteran Memorial Garden, November 2001, is depicted in the ground here. So as I find myself sitting here in this fountain, it's a reflection of being able to come out and capture the essence of what it may have been like for a soldier who may have been forgotten or captured during some war, and he haven't been able to see home again. So the people here in this particular county or this particular city called Powder Spring is remembering those who not only served, but those who actually went to war and never came back. Some people's bodies in a foreign land, the soul is in a foreign land, but to those, not only those who served that you're supposed to remember the family that remained behind to support those dead soldiers. So that's what this whole monument is about today, and remembering those who actually served and the base that it had left behind in reference to the family members. So it's great to come out and say you are here and you participate in this endeavor called Powder Spring Veteran Memorial Site. So I'm gonna point my camera down to the floor a little bit there. And I'm gonna point to the insignia that's on the ground here in this site. There's an insignia there that represent the people here in Powder Spring. Yeah, and as you raise up, you will see the flags flying high in the distance here in Powder Spring, Georgia. Great monument. Powder Spring, Georgia. To the veterans.
Yes.
It's right off of we call the place again 301 or something like that.
Okay.
Out in Tampa with the
I've been there.
where that casino is at.
Oh, okay.
One of the most beautiful
Okay, yeah.
place out there. So your father, what war is he in?
The Army.
Which war?
The Desert Storm.
Oh, Desert Storm.
Yes.
So he made it back alive in one piece?
They came.
Amen.